जीवन आपको पढ़ाई बहुत ज़रूरी होती है जीवन में। आपको आगे जाके बहुत कामयाबी हासिल करनी है।
मामा जी, इन पहाड़ों के पीछे क्या है?
इन पहाड़ों के पीछे
My name is Jeevan Singh Titiyal. Currently, I am a professor and chief of Dr. Rajendra Prasad Center for Ophthalmic Sciences, commonly known as RP Center, in All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi. I was born in a small village called Titiyal in a district of Pithoragarh, Kumaon Hills. It is quite remote. In fact, if you look into a distance from Delhi to my village, it is almost 700 kilometers. We still don't have an electricity connection in that particular village. We do have some sort of solar system to give some light in the evening. And it is covered by snow 6 months. So our ancestors, they used to travel to a place where there was no snow. So we have two places, summer and winter places. The snow will start at the end of September. By October, it is totally covered. So we have to shift in the September to a place called Dharchula. There, a village called Kalika is my actual home in the lower heights. Our ancestor, especially my grandfather, he was from a period where India and Tibet business used to happen. At that time, because of a Tibet business or a trade, our area people were quite satisfied. They never looked towards the education at that time because everybody had to do a hard physical work in the fields, or they had to go to Tibet and Nepal to sustain their livelihood. My grandfather's, thinking at that time, he always thought about educating his, sons. And that time, many people never had access to education at all in those areas. In fact, my father was the first person from my, valley to do a high school education. And in fact, he is the first person to be in a government service from our place. But by the time 50s came, like by 57, 58, 59, the Chinese infiltration had already taken over the Tibet, and the Indian trade was getting totally distorted and damaged. So this made people to think, okay, now we have to shift to other side. That's why education became important. But if I think on my own journey, how I could, get education. I still feel the one person in my life would be my grandfather. He was totally uneducated, but he knew the value of education at that time also. So I got primary education by my grandfather at home only till 3rd standard. So I directly went to a primary education school and a 4th standard. And on 6th standard, you have to come from primary school to a middle school. And from Tidang to Dharchula, that is a place distance, those days used to take 3 days trekking. There were a group of students come together and track and stay somewhere in between where you have some houses and take a shelter for a night. That time, education was, almost 90% in these areas were government education. So we had a government inter-college. So you could do up to 12th standard in those places, 6th to 12th. We had a very nice, comfortable stay in that place because one of my maternal uncle had a grocery shop there. And we 2-3 cousins used to stay in there and study for that long. If I just look back, why did I subsequently become a doctor? It was because of my uncle. Though he was totally uneducated himself, but he had one in mind because he had seen, those days a doctor being posted in that small tehsil. And he used to say, you must become a doctor. When he came to know about my art side, thinking, they said, no, nothing doing, whatever happens, you have to take a science side. And because of his insistence and his request to teach us there, and I don't know, you have to put my, this kid to a science side. Otherwise, I would have been somewhere else. When I was in the 11th standard, my father suddenly got transferred to headquarters, that is Lucknow. He was serving the police wireless department. So he came there and after a few months, because he was alone in Lucknow, he said, okay, you are nearing to complete your intermediate education. Subsequently, you have to be in a university. Why don't you come to Lucknow? From Dharchula to a place called Tanakpur, we had to come by bus. It used to take around 14 hours. So I reached Tanakpur. From there was a train connection to Lucknow. So I had no idea. Somebody said, okay, this is the counter for tickets. You buy a ticket for Lucknow. The whole night I was sitting like this till I reached Lucknow, That was my first journey in a train, and it was very difficult to sustain that whole night sitting in that compartment. As when I got out from the train and went towards outside, there were at least 4 or 5 people running towards me. They're saying, please come, please come, please come. I thought my father would have sent somebody to, for receiving me. One person caught me and said, okay, why don't you come to my rickshaw? I sat on that. He asked me, where you want to go? I said, Mahanagar police station. He took me there. He said, give me 5 rupees, and he ran off. I gave him 5 rupees. There I was looking here and there. I saw there was a small hut where the tea was being served. I went to that place and somebody asked me, you're looking for somebody? I said, yes, I'm looking for Mr. Vijay Singh Titiyal. He's a wireless officer here. He said, my God, you're here? Your father has gone to pick you up. In fact, my father had gone there in a bicycle and I had come here. So he reached after almost 2-3 hours and he scolded me. Yeah, you didn't have a little bit of sense. You should have waited for me there in the station. So after 12th, I took a BSc admission in Lucknow University just to get a hostel. So I got a hostel and joined one coaching, Krishna coaching. There I could write everything in English. Before that, my entire education was a Hindi medium. And when I was in the coaching, then I came to know there's one place called All India Institute of Medical Sciences in New Delhi. And it is one of the best institute, and somebody who's lucky might get in there. Because for AIIMS entrance exam, there were only 4 centers those days: Delhi, Mumbai, Calcutta, and Madras. That's how I came to Delhi and I paid the exam. That was the first time I came out of Lucknow. Coming from such a small place, remote place, and reaching AIIMS was like a reaching out of the earth. In fact. I entered on 29th of July in AIIMS campus. Went to a registrar office and said, okay, your name is there. I said, you come from which place? I said, I've come from Kumaon Hills. That time we didn't have to say Uttarakhand. I said, I'm from Kumaon Hills and from Pithoragarh district. He said, maybe a very remote place. You may not have any staying place, then why don't you take the hostel? He wrote a letter to warden and they said, okay, you are given a room. And as soon as they allotted me hostel number 3 and room number 30. And that became 3 by 30 for me, for entire during my undergraduation. There used to be seminars, symposium, seminar type of thing happening in the class. The teacher, preceptor will give you 3 students to cover one topic. And it will be pre-announced. I remember I could not do those seminars myself because I was so hesitant to speak because I had never spoken in English my life earlier. It took me a whole MBBS period to get rid of that hesitation of not speaking with people. For a medical education, they require a huge amount of effort and sharpness of mind to take up everything in one go, and which normally happens to every one of us. But as I said, everybody is number one here. So you may be 25th or 26th. So then subsequently realize you cannot be number one. Now your criteria is to get through the exams and look for something else. And in that way, sports, I was number one. So that was one area I always felt confident I am better off than any other person. So that was one positive thing in the entire 5 years of my MBBS education. It kept me, at pace with other people that I used to feel wanted by the group because every year there used to be inter-semester matches. For football, for volleyball, cricket and badminton, table tennis, swimming. So they'll always say, where is this guy? Call him. So that used to give me a feeling that, okay, I'm wanted in my batch also. Another important thing sports tells you, winning and losing is a part of game. That I think sports gives the best to learn how good you can be a team person and how to become a, good person despite losing a particular match or a thing. And that I always learn from that. Dr. Rajendra Prasad Center for Ophthalmic Sciences, one of the first center to be established inside the AIIMS in 1967. It's a totally different organization, almost like a standalone administrative body, which governs the academics, which governs the services of that center. So it's a responsible position. So I've been lucky in that sense to reach up to that stage, being a student. So when I was doing a post-graduation in ophthalmology, I never thought that I'll become a faculty or I'll become a head of this place. So always had that inner desire, if possible, if the God is kind, I might be there in this particular position. So when I was doing that 3 years of senior residency, there was a creation of a post for a faculty position. And that was the thinking, now I can try out that. But there were at least 50, 100 people applying for those positions. And we had 2 positions open for that. And we had a very, very prominent people there. And But fortunately, it became 2 to 3. And we 3 people got into that position. And I can say, like, sometimes people say you're lucky. Luck may be there because the situation takes you in that particular position. But it has to be a little bit of your hard work and the wishes from your friends and your well-wishers that you get in that position.
Debating the topic, tell us when and how did you meet your wife?
I got married during my internship as such. And my wife was in a village only. My father and mother told me, okay, this is the girl known to us and she's very, very friendly to them. So we got married in, it was 1984, month of July.
मैं बसंती सीपाल हूँ। डॉक्टर तितियाल के वहाँ शादी हुआ। हमारा शादी मम्मी पापा लोग ने तय किया, उन्होंने कर दिया शादी।
I'm very fortunate, though she's not a professional person, she's a pure housewife. But she has given me so much advantage in my life. So I am a person, people tag me, you are totally, asocial. You don't come to any of her social functions. Because my wife covers everything. Because she has taken the half of my load from my life and she goes to my village, she attends all the marriages, all the other functions, represents our family there.
मैं कहती थी कि डॉक्टर साहब आप अपना काम कर लीजिए, जो भी गांव का काम है, कहीं जाना आना है, वो सारा मैं संभालूंगी और उसके लिए कोई फिक्र करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। बचपन से उनके दादा दादी माँ बाप ने बहुत सपोर्ट किया। पढ़ाई में भी अच्छे हैं, हर चीज़ में अच्छे हैं और किस्मत में भी अच्छे हैं। सर का नेचर अच्छा है, इसीलिए लोग उनको अच्छा मानते हैं। कोई भी मिले तो उनको लाइक करते हैं। मुझे बहुत अच्छा पति मिला, मैं बहुत खुश हूँ।
I have son and daughter. They both are medical doctors. My son is done MBBS. Now he's doing some sort of community work, doing surveys for a blindness. And he's a YouTuber also. And my daughter is a younger, and she's done MBBS, MD medicine, and she's just going to complete her senior residency in medicine from AIIMS, New Delhi.
Hi, I am Hemant Singh Titiyal, the son of the legendary Dr. Jeevan Singh Titiyal. We used to spend a lot of time together, my dad and me. Like when he used to get back from work, we used to play cricket. I wanted to do my own things, follow my own passions that I developed later on. And my father was pretty supportive about it, कि go try it out, देख लेंगे जो भी होता है. However it goes, we'll see what other paths or whatever best possibilities are there in that, or what you can achieve later if that fails. He does a lot for his family. Like he takes out time after such a busy schedule from his work, tries to spend time somehow or other.
I'm Renuka Titiyal. I'm working in AIIMS. I'm daughter of Dr. J.S. Titiyal. I used to idolize my father a lot, so I always wanted to be a doctor. Somewhere he's a part of it, but also I enjoy this whole profession. I like helping and I like treating patients and I like to study medicine. So somewhere I wanted to become a doctor because I wanted to. He's a very calm person. I've never seen him being angry or shouting and everything. So that is very calm and composed. He gets up at 6, so he gets up at 6. And he's very punctual. We never miss our bus. We reach at bus stop exactly at 7:15, so we reach there. We never miss any day. We used to get full attendance ka trophy every year because of him.
The journey was as tough as my, initial education. Responsibility comes as if once you become a faculty of a one particular area of this AIIMS, that too in a Dr. RP Center, where everything is has to be one of the best in the country, one of the best, because RP Center was the apex institute for Minister of Health or Family Welfare as a national program of blindness, because RP Center created that blindness program. So we had to do activities which not only for a center, we had to go across the country to take care of people who are getting blind, do a cataract surgery in remote areas, and other responsibility was to train the trainers. So every step is very difficult here. Apart from doing your routine work, your patient care, surgeries, you have to do added work of research, publications, do other work area. And based on that, you are promoted or you are selected. The one thing I always had the fortunate to be in a place where people say, okay, you are a good person, you take care of everything, and keep doing a good work. So that always kept me in a positive frame of mind to keep working. In fact, if I see my journey for last so many decades, more than 2 decades, I would be the first person to come to hospital and maybe the last person to leave sometimes.
डॉक्टर जीवन सिंह टिटियाल बड़े पुराने अच्छे मेरे मित्र हैं, बड़े पुराने एसोसिएट हैं। इनको देख के 2 चीजें मुझे हमेशा याद आती हैं। भगवान हर जगह तो पहुंच नहीं सकते, तो उन्होंने कुछ अपने नुमाइंदे बनाए होते हैं जो उनको रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं सोसाइटी में आके। इज वन ऑफ देम। इतनी कलरफुल पर्सनालिटी है इनकी कि जो पहरन, जो कपड़े भी पहने हैं वो भी रंगीनियों में डूब जाते हैं। This is what Dr. Jeevan Singh Titiyal is.
If I look back in last two decades, I feel proud that we could keep the pace with the development happening across the world. In terms of newer things coming up, newer equipments, newer diagnostics, and people across the world, they came to RP Center and training people here also. So keeping the pace with the technology changing happening was a major challenge for us, which we could adapt and we could do it.
He's a surgeon par excellence and he's a man with a golden heart. So although he has operated the top presidents and prime ministers of the country, with the same humility he operates on the poorest villagers from distant parts of the country. And that is something I find a very unique quality.
He also knows which work to give to which person. So he finds out the best person and gives the work or delegates the work to that person and then also supervises. I think the best part about him is that if he delegates a work to somebody and that person doesn't do, he will do it, It's like that. And he can do the smallest amount of work he can drape the patient and he can do the whole surgery also, flawlessly. So he doesn't need any help that way.
He doesn't get ruffled by the situation, neither during surgery, during there's 100 patients around him. We tend to lose, or generally people tend to lose their temper at some point during surgery, in the OPDs when there is a lot of crowd. But barring once or twice in all these years, I haven't seen him lose his temper at all.
He's a great teacher because he does not teach you bookish knowledge that all of us can read. Whatever he gives you is practical experience. So the good points about that is it is instantly applicable to whatever you're doing and you don't find it in books. Is he a patient teacher? No. Because he sets up the skill bar is as high as he is at, which is excellence. And he has always made the best of whatever situations he has been in.
एक तो उनके जैसा हार्ड वर्क करने वाला आदमी, मतलब आई मीन एज ए ह्यूमन बीइंग भी हमें सरप्राइज होता था कि एज ए ह्यूमन बीइंग वो किस तरह से बैठे रह सकते हैं। 70-80 सर्जरी एक टाइम में एक टेबल पे बैठे बैठे कैसे कर सकता कोई आदमी। तो आपको खुद को सरप्राइज लगता है कि किसी के पास गॉड गिवन पावर्स के बिना आप इतना नहीं कर सकते।
तो बहुत इजीली कामली एक ही प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग पर्सन है और मोर ओवर सर डाउन टू अर्थ है। सर जो है 4th क्लास से लेके अपर क्लास हर किसी बंदे को सर बहुत रिस्पेक्ट देते हैं और उनको उनकी प्रॉब्लम के जो उनकी प्रॉब्लम्स वगैरह सॉल्व करते हैं.
Whenever I come out from my work area, I always have 2 or 3 students with me. I'm keep discussing regarding any case in outpatient department, in clinics or in surgical areas, and share my own experience with them of how I did this, how people reacted to this, how should we manage a particular area. It's like exchange of your thoughts to the younger generation. And I think most of them have gained something out of my life also. And sometimes, for me also, it's a very good teaching because they also narrate something from their side also. So you are compromising the amount of light entering the eye.
He's been a role model for so many of us, but he's a great teacher and he's a great mentor. Even with the junior most, fellow or junior most resident or even student, he comes down to that level to converse with them and he listens. I think that is the great quality of any human being. Most importantly, he gives you freedom to do what you want. He's very non-interfering that way.
The day I joined RP Center, he was the first consultant to whom I went. I was sitting in his OPD as a fresh postgraduate student, and he showed me a patient and asked me, "What is this?" And today I know that how absurd and how wrong that answer was. He just looked at me and he smiled and he said, "Okay, get up." And that's how he behaves. Even if you are wrong, then he says, "I think if you do this way, it will be better."
So I take this, as a very, very positive way of living in this institute campus, right from beginning to this phase of my life, that I always had people with me and could share my, all difficult times with them. Because we have to give them, I had this difficulty, how did I come out of this? This is very important. That is how people learn. I feel very proud that I am a chief of this center now, and from under our hands, at least more than 1,000 students have become the teachers of this country. In fact, many of them are across the world leading in their institutions. I am one of the first Indian to do a live surgery in the US long time back, and that reputation goes across. So one day suddenly, I think it was in 2008 or so, I had a representative of His Holiness Dalai Lama coming to center and asking, "Okay, you are Dr. Titiyal?" "Yes, sir, I am Dr. Titiyal. His Holiness wants to meet you and wants his surgery to be done with you." So that was such a surprise, and he had the opportunity to get surgery done every part of the world, anywhere in the world. People were asking him to get surgery done. But I remember he narrating, he said, "No, I have come to India. India gave me shelter. It's like my home. So my surgery has to be done by Indian only." And I remember one particular sentence. As I said, "You have to follow my orders because during surgery you have to look towards the light and I'll be doing certain things." He said, "Now you are my master." So that was the confidence he gave me. By doing research, I have a recognition. I am one of the top 2 percentile of researcher of this world. That is also honor for our institute. Then I've got a RP Danda medal that is for a people who have done work in a corneal transplantation eye bank. I have achieved Senior Achievement Award from the American Academy of Ophthalmology, which is the largest body of this world and one of the most respected society in the field of ophthalmology. And recently I've been awarded the Fellow of Royal College of Surgeons from UK. Padma Shri, I think, is a great honor for anybody. Not for me only, anybody. It's a really great honor from the government of India. And it can be related to the services you have given to the society and to people of your country. So these are part and parcel of work you have done, and you don't have to go around and beg them. It automatically comes to you if you've done a good work. So I would say people, you should keep working. The rewards will fall on you.
बहुत से लोग मुझे जो है मेरे बड़े भाई साहब के नाम से जानते हैं। वो कहते हैं कि आप डॉक्टर तितियाल के छोटे भाई हो। ओह गुड, वेरी गुड, बहुत अच्छा। तो मुझे एक प्राउड मतलब गर्व फील होता है। शायद अब थोड़ा बहुत मेरा भी पहचान हो गया उनके चलते हुए, क्योंकि उनके छाया पर हमेशा छाया बन के रहा मैं। तो उससे मुझे लगता है कि अब शायद मैं उनकी वजह से जो है यहाँ तक पहुँचा।
One area which I could develop to an international standard was to create the National Eye Bank, which was there for us in 1965. But it was working, but never came up to the standard where we could, target the better processing of tissue, better distribution of tissue, better utilization of tissue, and making the eye bank up to the national standards. We have done more than 25,000-30,000 surgery for blind people, transplanting them.
इससे बड़ा पुण्य का काम क्या है कि आप किसी को उसकी दृष्टि दे दें ताकि वो दुनिया देख सकते हैं, जो हम देख सकते हैं या आप देख सकती हैं। ये बहुत बड़ा काम है। मैंने आपको बताया था, पहले ही मैंने इसलिए बताया कि कुछ लोग नुमाइंदगी करते हैं ऑलमाइटी की धरती पे आके। ही इज वन ऑफ देम।
Second thing was I developed the National Surgical Skill Center, where we could train our young people into various types of surgeries in simulators, which are actually the, you can see seeing the surgery and doing the surgery in the, like a video games.
मुझे आँखों में देखने से प्रॉब्लम हो रही थी, तो मेरे मोतियाबिंद था। जैसे मैं प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल में गई तो वहाँ पे ये बोला आज अभी करा लो, डरा रहे थे, नहीं तो बढ़ जाएगा, बड़ी दिक्कत हो जाएगी। लेकिन यहाँ पे इन्होंने मुझे सही गाइड किया। मैंने बोला कि जैसे अगर मैं थोड़ा ब्रेक कर सकती हूँ, अपने अकॉर्डिंग डेट लूँ तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, तो इन्होंने मुझे सही बताया।
Once I came to Lucknow in the midnight. I was having excruciating pain in my eye. And it was so nice of him that he came. He takes personal care with his patients, which is great. आधा पेशेंट तो इनसे मिलके वैसे ही ठीक हो जाता है.
To everybody, I think he is very human that way, and be it students or be it any part of the staff or anybody, I think that is the best part about him, that he lets you be. I think his status, WhatsApp status also says live and let live, and he truly follows that. The way he's become a complete phenomena in ophthalmology is something, you know, which is really something to be admired.
If I look back to my own journey, because I say, you know, I was one of the most privileged individual in this institute, coming from such a humble or a small background to reach up to this stage where people say, my God, you are chief of the center. My batchmates, those 50 people say, you are the chief of the center, because none of my batchmates are in this institute. They are all across the country or outside the country. I'm one person of my batch who serviced the entire institute for my life. I've given everything back to institute, but that is nothing. The advantage you get from institute cannot be repaid back, never. The only thing, if I multiply my contribution, even that is not sufficient. I have 2 hands at 24 hours that has been multiplied to 2,000 hands. I've trained around more than 1,000 students. 2,000 hands and multiply that to 24 hours. Even that amount of time and manpower is not sufficient to repay back to your institute and your country.